Hi, everybody. It's Glenda McDonald, the Story Finder. And today I have with me my client, Tina Crossfield from Crossfield Publishing, her intern, Isabel, and an author we're featuring for this session, Joanne. And I'm going to just pass it over to Tina now, and I'll be here in the background for admin support and also manage Q&A. We're going to have another 3 authors after this. It's just all one continuous stream. The actual events are going to be taking place in February on the YouTube channel for Crossfield Publishing. This is simply a training session. So welcome everybody, and off to you, Tina.
Hi, welcome to the Crossfield Publishing booth at the Ontario Library Association virtual conference. Today we are hosting Joanne Cully, who's written an extremely interesting book, and she can't wait to tell you all about it. Before we get going, I'd like to pass the mic over to Isabel, who is going to read our land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Tina. So we'd like to acknowledge with gratitude and respect the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe and Adirondack nations. May we honor their teachings.
Thank you. That was lovely. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Joanne. Here we go. Okay, Joanne Cully is an award-winning writer and documentary producer whose previous book, Love in the Air, Second World War Letters, was published in 2015. Her work has appeared in the Globe and Mail, Toronto Star, Peterborough Examiner, Legion Magazine, Our Canada, as well as on CBC and Bravo Network. She has an MA in English from the University of Toronto and a certificate in creative writing from Humber College. She grew up in Toronto and now lives in Peterborough, Ontario. So, Joanne, over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Tina, for that lovely introduction. And thanks to the Ontario Library Association for inviting me to share this presentation about Claudette on the Keys. I appreciate all those who are attending today. My novel was released last September by Crossfield Publishing, and I was blown away by the attention it received on CBC, TV, and radio, and in newspapers and magazines. Libraries have been a great support to me as a writer and a reader, especially the online resources that have been available and valuable to me throughout the pandemic. Not only was I able to access ebooks and regular books in researching my novel, but I've also joined the Peterborough Library's online book club, which has introduced me to many wonderful authors. And it's been sort of a lifeline for me and others socially during these various lockdowns. And I'm thankful that many libraries, including the Toronto, Peterborough, Georgina, and other Ontario libraries who have already acquired my book to make it more widely available to readers everywhere. And I'm grateful for the support that the OLA gives to publishers, especially smaller Canadian ones, such as Crossfield, to make their books available to readers across the province. So now I'm going to share a PowerPoint presentation with you to give you some background on the book. So hopefully I'll try to make this work. We'll see how it goes. Can you see anything yet? Okay, it's on my screen now. Tina, can you see it?
No, I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's not. No, it's not sharing.
Okay,
no.
so let me, in the interest of time here, let me share my screen.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now I'm having issues. Ah, wait. There it is.
Was
Oh,
that
now I have infinity.
was that introduction okay?
Oh,
Tina?
it was lovely.
Yeah, okay.
If you go to the center one and make it full screen. Yeah, I remember we had this problem with David.
Oh gosh, yes, we did.
David Belly.
Okay, I'm just going to try again because I have it up. I don't know why. Why? Okay, I'm just going to try again.
I got a message from Grace saying that she's getting a lot of feedback and repeating, but I've just asked her whether or not she has another device playing YouTube someplace, because we're not getting any feedback at our end. Joanne, you're still a little bit muffled. Okay, here's Tina.
No, it's not working for me for some reason, which I totally don't understand why.
Okay. Can you upload it to Google and use a Chrome tab?
Probably not.
Okay.
Jeez.
Okay. Let me see if I have it. I don't know if I have the copy, if you sent me a copy of it. I know I had to share it at one point, so maybe I still have it. Let me just go into my records.
Oh wait, maybe
You got it?
No, I'm doing something totally different.
Yeah, like if you put it on a separate screen, like a separate monitor, and then choose that monitor, because the problem, oh, you know what? You're sharing. Okay, I know what you're doing. When you go into share, this is what I was trying to explain to Joanne, where you go share screen, you have the option of entire screen or window. And you're sharing the entire screen, which is why you're showing yourself plus all the stuff. You don't want that. You just want the window that PowerPoint is in.
Yeah, I think I can upload it. Okay, but let me try your thing first.
Yeah, because I think that was the confusion. And that's why what David was doing before, when we had the okay, in the meantime, I'm going to see whether I have it. This is why we have practice sessions.
Yeah, right. It's interesting that you saw it briefly, though, and I don't know what.
Yeah, whatever you could be trying again at the same time, Joanne, because you did have it up.
So I go to window, and then do I go to share and then the PowerPoint?
You go share and then window, and in the but share the window that the PowerPoint is in.
Okay, you guys can't see this though, right?
Not yet. You're whatever you're doing, you're not sharing it. So go back to the share button. Oh, okay. Here you go. Okay, so what you're doing is you're sharing your entire screen. You want to instead share window. You had an option when you were in there, share screen or share window, and you're sharing your whole, so you're in the wrong option. So we'll go back to share. There, got it. And now you want to go full screen. Yep.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know what I did.
Nope, you did the right thing. Okay, we're ready. Ready. Okay.
Holy mackerel. Okay.
Thank you, Tina.
Sorry, Joanne.
Okay, I'm stepping back out now. Here we go. I know we're a little behind schedule now, but we don't have to do the entire PowerPoint.
So I'll just do maybe the first couple of minutes of it.
Okay, I'll step back.
Okay. All right. So Tina, then you'll advance some.
Yes.
Okay. When I was a young girl, so you can go to the first one now. When I was a young girl, my grandmother Ida was a model for me of a beautiful, self-confident woman, an equal partner in her marriage and working life. She was a pianist who played on stage and on the radio in a two-piano, four-hands act with my grandfather. Next slide. When my cousin Barbara and I would visit her, we'd sit at her dresser's three-way mirror, spraying ourselves with her perfume, spreading Italian balm over our faces and gluing on her false eyelashes, all the while imagining ourselves in her glamorous life. Next one. We'd beg her to bring out her old trunk, stamped with labels from around the world, and take out her elegant gowns designed by Norman Hartnell. Next one. He was the designer for the Queen, she would say proudly. And as we tried them on, we would imagine her walking onto the stage from one side and Harry from the other, meeting in the middle to each sit down at a grand piano. She'd be wearing a slinky dress with her wavy blonde hair and pencil-thin eyebrows. She'd entertain us by playing songs such as Tenderly, The Man I Love, and Stardust. Her hands flying over the keys, she'd look over at us smiling and ask what we'd like to hear next. Okay, that's probably enough. Eh?
Okay.
Should I send you over
Joanne,
the script?
your voice,
so you have
Joanne,
it,
your voice is still quite muffled.
Yeah?
There's something very muddy about your mic, and it sounds like wind in the background a little bit.
Really? Okay. Well, it's the
That's
same
good.
mic I used before, but I'll. Is that any better? I'll have it
That's
closer.
good. Yeah, that's good now. I'm going to step back out
Okay.
again.
I'll keep it closer to me then. Okay, great. So Tina, would you like me to send over that script so you have it? Okay. I can't hear you.
Yes, and I think I've got some background noise on my end here.
Okay.
So, because when I put my mic on, you sounded much better.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, Tina, if you're all right doing this, then I guess in the interests of efficiency, we could just go with you advancing the slides. If you're
I promise to practice.
okay. All right. I can give you a verbal cue if we're out of sync or something. I'm sure they won't.
Well, you know, a lot of times when I'm on a Zoom for a course or a lecture or something like that, someone else handles advancing slides or putting up documents and things like that.
Yeah.
And it kind of just takes that little bit of stress off of the presenter
Yeah.
if someone else runs through the slides.
Sure.
So,
That's fine. Yeah. So when I finish it, will Glenda or you be saying something, or should I say a thank you at the end, or?
Sorry, at the end when you're finished, Tina will finish it off, and then when she's finished with it, then I'm going to just pretend that we're going live with the next session.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
yeah, and we'll probably try to fit in one question.
Okay. So
And
maybe
so,
should I send Glenda the question that we did at the book
yeah,
launch?
sure.
Yeah, you can put it in the private chat, and I'll just pop it up on the.
Yeah, and it'll look exactly like when we did the virtual launch. Like the question will come up on the screen.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm just writing it in here now. And then if somebody else has another one, I'd be happy to answer it instead of this one.
Okay.
Okay, hang on one second. I'm just responding to Grace in a private message. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. All right. 1 second. I'm hearing the buzzing in the background again, whatever it is. It sounds like somebody's got a heater or something on.
It's a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, I guess we'll have to schedule that differently. Okay, question is up, and I'll add that to the screen.
Yeah, great. Okay. Yeah, Isabel said she had the same question. Very good. So that can be the one, our backup one, if no one asks anything else. Oh, Glenda or Tina's still muted.
Okay, I think we should bring Grace in.
Can I stay for a bit, like in the
Absolutely, yes.
background? Okay, because I'd like to hear her.
Let's see. Is she here yet? Okay, do we have Grace yet?
Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't, that you couldn't hear me. No, the problem is that I'm talking to Grace on YouTube public chat because she's asking, how do I get in to the studio? And so what I've been trying to explain to her is that she has to use the link that was in the email that was sent to everybody for today's sessions, that we all use the same link. So until she just clicks that link from, now, is she at Rick's or like what's going on?
I'm not sure right now.
Okay, so Grace, what you have to do, pardon me, is find the link that said guest link in the email that you were sent.
Maybe I can resend it to her.
Yeah, resend it.
Okay. Okay. Note to self, next time.
Oh, okay, here she's here.
Oh.
Okay, 1 second. Just 1 second, Grace. Something's not working here. Hang on 1 second. Something is not quite right at her end. Something is wrong. I'm getting an error message. It's like she's trying this. They'll need to connect their mic. Okay, Grace, you have to turn your mic on or else I can't add you to the stream. I'm trying to add you, but you're not appearing. It says you're, oh, okay, sorry, that's Bruce. Sorry, that's Bruce. No, it's not Joanne. Bruce is here, but it says device not connected. And Grace has not yet appeared.
Gosh, it was like clockwork yesterday.
It was. So yeah. I'm putting in the public chat now. So did you resend the email to Grace?
I have, yes.
Okay. I'm just checking my email to see whether or not she has sent something to us by email. Did you check your inbox from her?
I'm just checking that now.
Yeah, I'm just checking to see if she sent us a message. Hi, Bruce. Yeah, Bruce, whatever. It says your device is not connected, Bruce. Oh, there, whatever you did, just fixed it. I'm going to pop Bruce in just for a second. Do you want to say, oh, wait, I think we've got Grace. Something's happening here. Hi, Bruce. Okay, I'm not going to add you to the screen yet, Bruce. Here's Grace.
Oh, yay.
Okay, Joanne, I'll just put you can stay in the green room if you want, but I'm going to just remove you from the stream. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so we've got feedback at Grace's end. Stay in the green room. I'm going to just remove you from the stream. Okay, 1 second. Okay, Grace, do you have a pair of headphones? Do you have a headphone? Because that often removes the feedback issue.
I don't have it. I'm not getting feedback now. That's what I was doing and I got lost. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Isabel back to the stream. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that we're going live, because what will happen at your actual session is you're going to have your own private link. You're not going to be sharing this link that all the presenters are doing today. And I've got Bruce waiting in the wings, so everything's coming along. Okay, so we're going to pretend that we're going live right now. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, this is Glenda McDonald, the Story Finder. We're broadcasting live from my YouTube channel. What we're doing is the practice session today for the authors that will be presenting at the Ontario Library Association Super Conference first week of February. Those presentations, 7 presenters, will be done from the Crossfield Publishing YouTube channel. And I will be preparing links for each of those events and sharing them with the authors and with the social media so that we can promote them in advance. So I am going to step away now. We have Tina Crossfield, the publisher of Crossfield Publishing, who's my client, and I'll be here for Q&A and to help out in the background and technical. And so take it away, Tina.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Crossfield Publishing booth at the Ontario Library Association virtual conference. Today, I'd like to present a new author for us. Her name is Grace van der Zand. Before we go to her biography, I'm going to pass the mic over to Isabel, who is going to read our land acknowledgement.
Thank you so much, Tina. So we'd like to acknowledge with gratitude and respect the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe and Attawandarock nations. May we honor their teachings.
Thank you. Okay. Now I have to find it again. Oops. Okay. Grace van der Zand is an avid storyteller raised in the small village of Odessa, Ontario. As a creative outlet, she started a blog named Button Thoughts in 2010, which soon became very popular. True stories about her daily life on the farm and how she coped with humor and imagination captured her audiences. In 2014, she started sharing stories in a monthly column, Tales from the Farm, in a local paper, the Napanee Guide. Kingston This Week and the Kingston Whig Standard still publish her column. And to that, I pass the mic over to Grace. And Grace, I have your PowerPoint in the background. If you would like to talk from the slides, I can advance them, but
Okay.
I'll let you start, okay?
Okay. I'm just a farmer / writer and soon to be author, which is exciting. Thank you, Tina, and everyone at Crossfield. We moved here. We had we did an impulse buy. We went to an auction and we ended up buying a 200-acre farm that needed a lot of work, and that's where the story began. And farming is a tough business, and a girl from the village of Odessa learned that quite quickly. But that's what my stories are about, trying to find the good and the happy in every moment. I don't know what else to say.
Okay, so the slideshow is coming. Okay, there's a bit of a delay between StreamYard and YouTube, but I think we've got it.
Perfect.
Okay, and I'll just go to full screen here. Okay, and here is Grace's lovely cover for her book. Take it away, Grace.
The cover was a painting that hangs in my house. You may be able to see it behind me. It was painted from a photograph that I took back in our bush. Bill Van Wart in Napanee, a local artist, painted it and put whimsy in it because I'm a big fan of whimsy. And to me, that cover just means holding everything back and trying to see the good in everything. Because farming, it can be tough, it can be beautiful at the same time. So you just got to pick the things you can and go with it. It's a lovely life.
Okay, I've gone to the next slide. You should show up any minute now.
Tina, you're not
I need
actually
to be a
full
little
screen. Tina, you're not actually full screen. You're still showing the sidebar.
That's strange. Why didn't it go? I did advance them. It's kind of like, oh, wait a second. It's kind of like my, okay, is anyone seeing anything?
Just cover.
Yeah, Tina, you're not actually full
Just the
screen.
cover?
You're still showing the entire sidebar, and it looks like you're still clicked on the first slide. So you've got to arrow down your the slides or something, or click. There you go. Whatever you're doing now is working, but you're still not showing full screen. You're showing just you're showing the sidebar of all the slides. So you have to click the full screen button.
Okay.
When we bought the farm, it was an old farmhouse with a 200-foot woodshed. So we lived in that for 3 years, and it had no plumbing, very little hydro, and it was tough, and it was cold, and there was a wood stove in the thing. So we decided we couldn't do that any longer. So 3 years in, we started building a house, and we lived in 2 rooms in that old farmhouse. You can see where it has been torn off, and we started building. Oh, you missed a slide, I think.
Yeah, it's
okay. That is a new house, and we were hoping that we would move in soon, but then complications came, and we ended up spending the winter in that 2 little bedroom, cramped little old house with no insulation and a wide open cellar.
That must have been fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, so it was fun with a newborn. My husband and I work well together. We do a lot of things together. I've slowed down over the years, but he's still going strong. So.
Tina, can you make it full screen?
When I make it full screen, it's not, it doesn't advance.
Okay. But if you make it full screen and click on the picture, it should advance. Can you try that? Like when it's full screen, if you just click on the image, it usually advances to the next one.
All right. See, I'm clicking on the images.
Yeah, if you click on, if you go to full screen and then click on the full screen image, it should advance it to the next one. So try full screen.
Yeah, I'm on full screen actually.
Okay, something's not right then, because it's whatever you're doing this time is different from what you did last time with Joanne's. Are you sharing it on a screen within a different window, or?
Yeah, actually, I think I am. I went to window this time.
No, that's what you did last time, and that was the right thing to do.
Because it's like the feed. Okay, I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
Here. Okay.
There we go. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Grace.
That's okay.
Iron that
well,
out. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just step back out again.
Yeah, and so I haven't prepared the slides yet with the captions.
That's okay.
I just got bogged down yesterday. So, but they will be fine when I show them, and then I'll have that bit figured out.
So I would just tell a little bit about the slide, and will that work? So
yeah, when we can go through those fairly quickly, and then if you wanted to read a passage, like you'll have more time on at the actual event. You'll have 30 minutes. You won't have 15. You know, so we should be able to go through those slides and have enough time for you to read a story.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my stories are a 4-minute read, apparently, to the Kingston Wing standards. So
yes, so that's a perfect length. That would be fine.
Okay. Would you like me to do a reading now?
Well, we're coming up to 11:30.
Okay. Oh,
So I
okay.
think we've got Rick waiting in the
Rick
wings
is not
here.
here yet.
Okay, I'm just going to hang out then. Thank you.
Okay, just hang around, okay?
I
Rick
will.
isn't
Thank
here.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, she's welcome to do reading because Rick isn't here yet. I've just posted a live comment on YouTube, so you might have to send Rick the link again, the way that you
All
did
right, I will do
Grace.
that.
Yes, it's confusing.
Yeah, well, what'll happen for the live event is each author will have their own individual link.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be when I set up the YouTube, and in fact, you'll be able to see it on the a scheduled event on the YouTube for Crossfield. But I'm going to be sending you and Tina and Isabel the actual link to your own event, and that way we're also going to put it on. We can use it on your Facebook pages.
Okay, perfect.
Share it there. So I'll be talking to you about that. I'll be catching up with you with your Facebook stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So actually we're just waiting for Rick to come.
Okay.
Rick. Oh, Ricky.
I thought he'd be here for sure. He's never late.
Well, I think, it could be the confusion between, I think I was actually in the private chat there. I meant to put this in the section. Okay, Rick, please use the guest link in the email.
I was in the wrong link, so he probably is too.
But he hasn't commented on the public YouTube, so I don't even know if he's there. Maybe he's not.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah, I don't see him on the public YouTube either. But I just sent him a note.
We'd only have one eyeball, whoever that is watching us on YouTube now. I don't know who that is. I only have 2 followers.
It's probably me because I have it up on.
Oh, that would be Tina
computer.
then. So that we have nobody witnessing this.
Can I ask a question since we're just sitting here?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Okay, I have 2 stories and I couldn't pick between either. The first one is Dream Start and how we bought a farm at an auction that day. And the other one is when I'm sitting back in the bush and when my muse hits. So which one would work better, do you think?
Oh gosh. And
Sorry,
the phone
it's me. It's my end.
Okay. Okay, let's do the one back in the bush.
Okay, perfect. Oh, do you want me to do some now? Where's Rick?
Until Rick comes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
When she wakes, stories, unlike photographs, are a little more difficult to come by. In my life, there is always something to photograph, especially when you are lucky enough to be surrounded by so much beauty. Lately, I have not been inspired to write. My muse must have been on vacation. She has always returned, and I've learned to be patient. When she does, I must be prepared to quickly grab hold of her hand and run with it, whatever she needs. Well, on November 7th, 2019, there was a snow falling. My muse has always been easy to rouse whenever it snows. From experience, I knew I must get her out in the center of it. All bundled up, I hurried outside. To walk around the hen house, the drive shed, and the old barn with their snow-white covered roofs made me smile. With snow-covered boots and my socks already bunched nearer my toes than my ankles, I uncomfortably trudged on. My muse started to stir about halfway down the laneway. There was nothing that could stop this process now. I recognized that flurry of thoughts. She whispered softly in my ear. I walked down the lane lined with snow-covered page wire and vacated birdhouses. The sun tried to break through, but the snow kept falling. Do you want more? After a time, the sounds of the outside world disappeared. The sounds of nature mixed with those whispers were all that was heard. A female cardinal flitted about on the old oak tree that guards the gate to the pasture. Our cows must have felt the peacefulness too. They were silent and did not move when I walked around them. They seemed content. Finally, the path I sought was in sight. The world where a mixed palette of colors had blanketed the ground just weeks ago and crunched when I shuffled through was snowy white. There was a squishing sound beneath my feet. Deeper into the bush where the tree branches hung low, laden with layers of snow, I crept. I stood beside a pond that was only a cracked and dried up bed just weeks before. Emotions emerged. After the heavy rains came and filled the pond, the water flowed in every direction. The snow-laden branches touched the water. Mirrored images of those same tree branches reached up to touch the tree and bushes they had cloned. It was the most beautiful moment that I have encountered in such a long time. My muse exploded with ideas. I fumbled in my pocket for a paper that has always been there, just in case. The words started to form into a story, and the muse could not be reined in. A crumpled bunch of papers pulled from an old vest pocket. Flattened quickly, it would have to do. There had to be a pen or a pencil. Once again, with one hand in the same pocket and one holding the water-stained wrinkled paper, words bounced around and spilled out. I found a pencil. Finally, the first word was to be put on paper. A smudge appeared. Now a bit panicked, I looked at that pencil. It was broken. What now, I thought. Why had I not listened to my dad? He had told me to always carry a pocket knife in the bush. I'm pretty sure his was not for sharpening pencils, but it surely would have worked. I put the pencil in my mouth and I chewed the end of that pencil like a hungry beaver just to expose the lead. Now we were ready. I sat down on a mossy old rock, and within minutes I had a page written in a cold and wet butt from the snow. The wonky pencil was taking down those words as fast as it could. There were some legibility problems with using the wonky pencil and the ripped paper, but I could decipher that later. The thoughts had to be acknowledged and captured. The only movement was the pencil on the paper. Heavy snow started to fall on my paper, then on my head. I looked up. There sat a black squirrel who was pushing snow from the maple branch overhead. There was chattering, probably laughter. Was I his entertainment? He obviously wanted to be acknowledged too. Off to the west, there sat a male cardinal dressed in the most striking shade of red. He sat on a snowy white branch, high atop the old pine tree. He was not interested in the farm girl on the rock. He did not care that she was trying to capture her moments on crumpled paper with a broken pencil. The cardinal just sat still. The farm girl believed that he was just like her. He wanted to immerse himself in a world all dressed in white on that very first snow day. The farm girl refused to believe that the cardinal had any part of that old black squirrel's shenanigans. The words flowed, the squirrel kept pushing snow, and the sun started to shine, which made the snow glisten. The farm girl and her muse celebrated the beautiful new world and knew it was a sure sign of wonderful things to come. A snap shattered the silence. Once again, pencil to teeth. Why is that squirrel laughing? Does he have a pocket knife? The end.
Okay. Thank you very much, Grace. And we've got Tina now. Tina, if you could just finish off with Grace, and then I'm going to bring Rick in. We'll pretend that we're starting the next broadcast, and we'll bring Isabel and Rick in. So
Okay.
I'll just step out, and you can finish off Grace.
Okay. So thank you, Grace. That was a lovely story. I enjoyed it very much. I think we just need to add a little bit more light in your room.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a light behind the thing, and I wasn't sure where to put it.
Yeah. Sometimes if you have a light that is kind of on your desk, like.
Yes, I do have a light on my desk.
Yeah. So we can see you a little better. Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we're running about
Late.
behind, so but that's okay. We're going to say bye, Grace. Thank you so much.
Bye, Grace. Thanks very much. You can stay here and behind the scenes. I'm just going to remove you from the visible screen.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I'm going to add Rick in now. He's not at his desk right now. We'll have to call him. Rick.
I just called him.
Okay. There he is. Oh, you know what? He was sitting back. That's why I couldn't see him. Hi, Rick. How are you?
Good. I've got two computers in here because my desktop does not have a camera, so I have to bring my wife's laptop in. So
okay.
I do this all the time because I do.
Okay.
Anyway,
it's quite bright coming from that window.
Yeah, you're not going to get it any. I can't do anything about that unless I go to another room.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you change the angle so that your back is at the door.
Yeah, just a minute. This is a very bright room. There's no curtains in it.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, I'm just going to pretend that we're going live, because on your actual event, you're
that's
going to have
actually
your own
better.
private link. So this
Yes,
is just a
we're better.
practice session, but I'm going to pretend that we're going live in a few minutes, just the same way that I would be doing when it's just the four of us.
So at
Okay,
the OL,
pardon?
at the
That
OL
looks good.
next Friday, I'm probably going to have to stay in the kitchen then.
It looks good the way you have it now.
Yeah.
It's just your head's a little bit low. That's all. Don't see your mouth. Yeah.
I have a low forehead.
That looks good now. It looks pretty good now. Okay, so we're going to just pretend that we're off the air and that I'm going to count down to go live the same way that we will when it's your actual session. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're going live. Hi, this is Glenda McDonald, the Story Finder, and we're live on my own YouTube channel. And what we are doing today is some practice sessions for our authors from Crossfield Publishing that will be doing live presentations for the Ontario Library Association Super Conference on the 3rd and the 4th of February. So I'm going to step out and introduce you to Tina Crossfield, and she will take it from here, and she'll introduce the people that she's got with her. So thank you very much.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Crossfield Publishing booth at the Ontario Library Association virtual conference. I'm delighted that you can join us. We have author Rick Revell in the studio with us today. And before we introduce him properly with his biography, I'm going to pass the mic over to Isabel, who is going to read our land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Tina. So we'd like to acknowledge with gratitude and respect the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe and Attawandarock nations. May we honor their teachings.
Thank you, Isabel. Rick Revell was born in Smith Falls, Ontario. He worked for Nortel for 30 years, retiring in 2002. He belongs to the Ardoch Algonquin First Nation. His early years were spent in Wilton and Odessa in Ontario, and he lived for 32 years in Glen Burnie, Ontario, and since 2019 in Napanee. He has a black belt in judo. In the 70s and early 80s, he coached softball, winning 2 intermediate and 1 Junior A Ontario championships. He also coached at 3 Canadian championships. And you can find him in the Loyalist Township Sports Hall of Fame. His previous novels, I Am Algonquin, Algonquin Spring, Algonquin Sunset, were published by Dundurn Press. Crossfield Publishing was very fortunate to publish the final novel of that series called Algonquin Legacy that was released in 2021. And without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic over to Rick.
Hi, how are you this morning? I had to sit and listen to that introduction. That's really me. That's when I was young. I did all these things. Now I'm old. I've been retired for 20 years. I added some, did some math there. My goodness, yeah. I lived kind of a charmed life in sports and that. But I think the sugar at the end of my life is when I turned 61, I got published. And I've got 4 books coming out, and Tina's bringing out another book next September. I'll have 5 books by the time I'm 70, in 9 years. So I think that's kind of my wife seems to be prouder than I am. I just write the books, and I think it's surreal for me. I haven't really sat down and realized what's been going on. So anyway, Tina, what do you want me to do here? So
if you have a short reading from Algonquin, that would be great.
Yeah. On that day, there'll be somebody asking questions, and I know I've seen a short. There's an introduction about who I was, but you'll be doing that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you want to, I don't know, freshen that biography up, you're welcome to
Yeah, that's
send me a
fine.
new version, whatever.
So after I get introduced, I go right into my reading.
Yeah, so go into your reading, and then
Okay.
we will have some questions at the end.
Okay. Okay.
This is a shorter session. You'll have more time
Yeah,
at
half
the
an
actual
hour. Yeah,
event.
I see that.
Yeah. So if you
Um,
want to read for maybe 6-7 minutes.
Will you stop me? Because I've never, like, even when I go into schools, I say, I don't look at the clock. You got to stop me.
Okay.
You want, is this,
Okay, I will.
how's this
And then we'll
light?
ask you some questions.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay, so this chapter I'm reading from Algonquin Legacy, and it's called To Kill a Legend, and it's um, one of my main characters has been since my second book, Crazy Crow, was captured by the Blackfoot, and he's going to have to do the run of death because the Blackfoot consider him such a famous warrior that they're just not going to kill him in camp. They're going to send their young men out to make a name for themselves. And along with Crazy Crow is a Cheyenne warrior, a dog soldier that was captured hunting in the Blackfoot territory, and they've met each other, and they're both going on this run of death. And the Blackfoot call him Crowman, and the other guy. As we left the teepee, I hesitated for a quick moment to let my eyes adjust to the brilliant sunlight. This pause was all the excuse my guard needed to whack me in the back of the legs with a spear. This irritated me, and I lost my temper. Spinning on the dusty ground, I recognized my abuser as Kisama wa Kasi Moon Deer, who had been my constant overseer on our trip to the village. With lightning reflexes, I grabbed the spear out of the warrior's hand and took his feet out from under him with a single motion that completely caught him by surprise. He fell with a thud, a grunt, and an explosion of air from his lungs. As he quickly bounced back up to his feet, Kigsom Awakasi unsheathed the bone knife, and just as quickly I cracked his hand with the bladed end of the spear, causing him to yelp in pain. His hand was sliced to the bone, and the gushing blood reddened the ground around him. I tossed the spear on the ground at his feet and spat. No sooner had I tossed the spear than Ixapitawa Wakiao, he is very tall bear, the Blackfoot warrior leader, walked up to Kisama Wakasi and started to laugh. This made the bleeding man glare at me with clearly murderous thoughts. Isatawa Wakiao said, Ki sama wakasi. You should know that you never poke a kia bear with a stick unless you want to fight. Go now and find the healer. You need care. Looking at myself in the Cheyenne, called us by our Cheyenne. They called us by our Blackfoot names. Come with me. Me Stu Niha, Crowman. Today you and the Imatanina Dogman die. Okay, Woha Moss looked at me and I just shrugged. Neither of us understood what our captor had just said, but a push from our guards gave us the idea that we were to follow him. My inner senses always became keen whenever danger was near, and right now my sense of smell was overwhelmed by a mixture of odors from within the village. The rancid scent of dog urine, the misty odors of unwashed bodies, smoky campfires, the pungent wafting of food cooking, and the putrid stench of drying buffalo meat all filled my nostrils and rejuvenated my inner spirit. I was now on edge and ready to face what was in store for me. I would not go willingly or easily. I looked to my new Cheyenne friend and saw that he showed no fear whatsoever in his body language. He was a willing ally and a true warrior. Like our first arrival, women and children started to emerge from their lodges and shower us with sticks, rocks, clumps of dirt, and feces as we were led through the village. Elders came up to us and hit us with switches, leaving red welts all over our bodies. And although this was not as brutal as a Haudenosaunee gauntlet, it was a demeaning experience. Tall Bear came up to us and said, "Take off all your clothes and your moccasins." We laid my shirt as well as our leggings, breechcloths, and footwear on the ground. Okivo Omastasa and I stood there in the dust of the village center, naked as the day we were brought into this world. Flies were landing on my genitalia and chest. Women laughed at us, and dogs came up to sniff at our rears and private parts. When I looked over at Okivo Omosta, I noticed that a few of his wounds had opened up, and flies were gathering around the mixture of blood and honey that covered his seeping lacerations. A couple of the dogs were licking the blood off his legs as it trickled down his body. He returned my look and grinned, and I quickly signed for him to stay close to me when our death ordeal started. Tall Bear walked up to us and, using a combination of signing and his own language, said, "Our council has spent the past few days trying to decide how best to end your lives. One of our elders talked about the weasel and how he hunts the ha-tista rabbit. He talked about how the rabbit tries to outrun the weasel, but the weasel wears the rabbit down in the chase and catches him. The rabbit's only weapon is its speed, while the weasel has speed, sharp teeth, and cunning. The elder then talked about how the weasel is a sacred animal to our people, and that we should follow its ways in our treatment of you two. Since the weasel always trains its young to hunt at a young age, the elder suggested that we should train our own warriors in a similar way by slaying these two great warriors in a hunt. So we have decided that our young warriors will hunt you down in a death run. You will be given a head start with only your ability to outrun your pursuers to survive. Just like the Hatista, the young men will have their speed and cunning to catch you, and their teeth will be their weapons they carry. Outdistance them and you live. If you do not, then your scalp will hang in a young warrior's lodge, and he will have a fine story to tell others around the winter fires."
Okay, Rick.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's some things I have to adjust in there, change some wording, just so it flows out easier. I haven't read that section in a long time.
You haven't read it in a while. Yeah.
No.
I think you read it at your book launch.
That one? Maybe.
I think so. Okay.
Yeah, I could've.
So we have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Okay. How many of the places have you visited from the settings in your book?
I would say 95%.
Mm-hmm.
If you read all my books, Anacostia Island, I couldn't visit. Cypress Hills, I could not visit because of COVID. I've been to Saskatchewan and Alberta, to the other places, but I would say that the main places where it would be Anacostia Island and Cypress Hills and Algonquin Legacy, and the Salt Lakes in Saskatchewan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
COVID. Because I used to jump in a car and go for 3 or 4 days and visit these spots. Now I couldn't do it. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next question. Okay, I think it's coming up in a moment here. How much of this book is based on historical events, and how much is fiction?
This book here, most of it, historical events. If you look at it as a whole, we're talking about Algonquin Legacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So if you look at it as a whole, the Cree and the Assiniboine and the Saulteaux were called the Iron Confederacy, and they fought the Blackfoot all the time. And the Blackfoot were probably one of the strongest nations in Turtle Island at that time, pre-contact. They were to be feared immensely. They guarded their territory with a vengeance. And if you find in the book how the Cheyenne dog soldier got captured, they knew that they were going someplace they shouldn't have been, but they were starving, and they caught the end of a herd. But just as they were finishing doing their slaughtering, and they had already sent some of the people back with food, they were captured, and to the northeast, I'm sorry. Crazy Crow had been captured. He had taken a bunch of young warriors out on a hunt, and they were captured by the Blackfoot. The Blackfoot, Saskatchewan, Montana, and Alberta, through there, they roamed that whole countryside. So that it's built on historical facts. The Cypress Hills, the last chapter of the place where the rocks were is a place that's in the Cypress Hills. I wasn't able to go there, but it is a sacred place, and so any place that I talk about in my book, you can get in a car and travel to it.
Mhm.
And I write about what I think would have happened during the 1300s, how those people would have survived.
There are amazing survival stories in your book. Amazing.
Yeah, the first. I don't know if you want that one read or not. The first chapter where I just happened to pick that today. The first chapter where the father and the kids were out hunting, and they got
I love
caught.
that. Yeah, I love that
Like
story.
that one?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that story. Okay, we're gonna have to. Okay. Okay, I think we're gonna have to close. Rick, you are welcome to stay. Isabel, do you want to come back in?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do the countdown. Thanks very much, Rick. You can be here in the background. I'm just gonna take you off the screen. You'll still be
Okay,
in the
so just
studio.
we've still got 2 minutes here. Isabel, any tips for Rick?
Okay.
No, that was really great.
Okay.
I wouldn't change anything.
I might
Okay.
change this. I might change the story. If you like the first one so much, I think I might do that. It's more of a survival
The
story.
story of that blizzard just gave me shivers.
Okay, well then that's called The Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll go through there and find out something. Now, will I have a clock tender next Friday?
You'll have a script. Yeah, and a clock tender, yes.
Yeah, because I don't.
Yeah, but you'll also have like a minute by minute script.
Yeah. So and you'll have your own private link for that day. So if you've got other people doing their presentations that day, just bear in mind that we're going to be doing a live broadcast and then ending it. And then so each author will have their private link. This time, all of the authors for today shared the same link, but on your day, you're going to have your own link, and that means that we can actually share that specific Crossfield YouTube link through your social media. So I'll be sending information to each of the individual authors with their private link and copying Tina and Isabel.
Yeah,
So,
I've been to the OLA twice. This is the first time I've did it Zoom.
I'm really hoping next year we're back in Toronto.
We would sure like that.
It is amazing.
Thanks very much, Rick. I'm going to remove you from the screen, but you can stay there in the background if you like. Okay, so we're going to pretend a countdown, and as we get ready for Bruce, and I'm going to bring Bruce in here, but we're going to just pretend that we're counting down for his start time. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, everybody. It's Glenda McDonald, the Story Finder, and we're broadcasting live from my YouTube channel. We have today with us Tina Crossfield from Crossfield Publishing, and she'll introduce you to our other guests. We're doing practice sessions today for the authors that will be presenting at the Ontario Library Association Super Conference, February 3rd and the 4th. And we have 7 Crossfield authors that we're just so thrilled to be sharing with the world. And those events will be broadcast from the Crossfield Publishing YouTube channel, and we will be promoting the links to each of those individual events, and people will be able to bookmark them, subscribe to the Crossfield channel, whatever. So I'm going to now step away. Are you okay, Tina? Yeah. I'm going to step away now, and Tina, pass it over to you. Here we go.
Okay, hello and welcome to the Crossfield Publishing booth at the Ontario Library Association virtual conference. I have Dr. Bruce Hutchinson with me backstage. You will hear from him really soon. Before we get started, I'm going to pass the mic over to Isabel, who will read our land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Tina. So we'd like to acknowledge with gratitude and with respect the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe and Attawandarok nations. May we honor their teachings.
Thank you. Okay, so I have a biography here of Bruce to introduce you to him a little bit. Bruce Hutchinson writes the kind of book that is needed in times of emotional turmoil that we live in. A retired clinical psychologist with over 50 years of experience performing psychotherapy, counseling, consultation, and assessment, Dr. Hutchinson has experienced and identified emotional contagion in many of his sessions with his clients when emotions move and flow from client to therapist. He has appeared on TV, radio, and has traveled giving many speeches and talks about various topics in bettering oneself. An award-winning psychologist, he is known throughout Canada and has been an avid follower of Canadian and American news. As a Canadian, he has been close enough and yet far enough away from the US to get a subjective, objective view, one where he has no skin in the game. He can be a little more objective and a little less infected by the emotional infection, he says, flows in the US media and society. But he is close enough to read the situation and be affected by American politics. He shares his insights with us in this groundbreaking book. Bruce lives in Ottawa with his wife, Catherine, and their cat. And Bruce, over to you.
I'm sorry, neither my wife nor my cat can be with me today, so I'll have to do it alone. Well, thanks for that great introduction, Tina. What do you want me to do now? You've got the slides. Do you want to show those now?
Are you able to show the slides from your computer?
Yeah, but I'm not sure how that would work on.
Hi, Bruce. Yeah, if you would like to share the slides from your own computer, there is a button called Share, and you just have to look for that within the StreamYard studio there. And what you want to do is either share a window, the window that your presentation is in.
Okay, I don't see the Share button.
Yeah, I think it's below. Tina, I don't know how it looks when you're a guest in. I see it as a strip of things that say
there it is there. I got it. Yeah, sorry.
At the very bottom,
so pick share window, not share screen. There we go. Got something happening. Okay, something. We've lost Bruce. His mic is off again, I think. So when
Glenda, he didn't give you a copy of the slides, eh?
No, he sent them to you.
He sent them to me?
I asked him to send them to you. I don't have them.
Oh, shoot. I don't have them either. Oh, wait. Okay.
So we've lost Bruce. I'm not sure what happened. He was trying to share, and I think because he's oh, there we go.
This is not good. I don't know what's going on because it keeps on going off and on.
Okay.
Okay, I found them. I found the slides.
Yeah. Okay. So Tina has your slides, and she'll try and share them from her end. I'll step back.
Okay. In the meantime, we can continue to chat.
Okay, good idea. Yeah. So, yeah, I become an author. It's I can't meet Rick's story. I'm over 70 now. This is my first book, so I'm jealous. I don't know how he got all those books published, that's great. But I appreciate that you're giving me a chance. And people always told me I could write, so I thought I'd wait until I retired, and then I'm going to write about stuff going on in the world, but not from a political point of view, but from a psychological point of view, since I'm a psychologist. So, and I think that's been underdone and underrated in the media and in life in general. So hopefully I can contribute to that. That's a great cover of the book. And
I'll pop in while Tina's trying to sort out her screen. Actually, she seems frozen right now.
Yeah.
Tina, are you? Okay, we've
you want
lost.
me to share mine?
Well, we've lost Tina, so she's going to have to come back in. Oh, here she goes. Okay, I think there we go.
Okay.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Tina.
Not sure what happened there. Somebody must have turned on the microwave.
Oh. Yeah. So Bruce and I were just chatting. So are you having some issues sharing your screen, Tina?
Okay, I have to remember what I did the last time.
Okay, remember you go share and then you go screen, not window.
I can share. Oh, share screen.
Yeah, share screen, not share window.
Do you want me to try it again?
You can both try. Whoever gets in first, we're good. Okay, Tina's got, there we go. Okay, yeah, so remember you got to go, there we go. And then you got to go full screen.
There
we go. All right, now I'm going to leave. Over to you guys.
Okay, good, great. Okay, so this is the main screen, and it's not one of the 8. So okay, so this is what I chose for I love the blue, and so I'm using that. And so I talk about emotional contagion in a time of turmoil, referring to the turmoil going on in the world in the last few years, politically and socially and culturally. So I say that emotions are contagious and they spread and affect us all. And I talk about that and define what that is in the book. Emotions touch and affect others nearby who can absorb them quickly. Turmoil involves behavior driven by negative, contagious emotions around us. And emotions have kidnapped many people's minds. Understanding how to handle negative, contagious emotions thwarts turmoil. Negative, contagious emotions harm our social, political, and everyday life. And social and political turmoil are caused by negative, contagious emotions. Toxic emotions like hate, fear, and others flare up in times of turmoil. Okay, so next slide.
He's got something. He's got metal in his eye again.
Stefan?
Yeah, he should have looked at it.
Oh no.
Okay, Tina, we can hear your phone conversation.
Okay, just hold on. Yeah, Glenda.
An emergency?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay, I'm gonna just stay on the screen then. Tina's had to leave, so I'll just remove that. She's got a family emergency. Carry on, Bruce.
Sure. So, well, I don't know if I can. Slides are over here, but Tina's got the slides up. I can't change the slides.
Okay. Well, this is just a practice session, so it's not a big deal. You can. Do you have something you'd like to do as a reading from the book?
Sure. I guess I could do that.
Yeah. Why don't you just pick a little something? We're nearing the end, anyways. I'm not sure.
Slides look.
The slides looked good. Yeah. I see all of the slides there. They're she must have switched it before she left because she's just left it on the one. But if you want to just pick up your book and do a reading from the book, that would be fine.
Sure. Okay. Emotional contagion is crucial in human relations and in society. It is evolutionary, relating to the way living things develop over millions of years. According to CogniFit, a company that writes about cognitive tests, emotions, and mental processes and brain training, we are born equipped with the evolutionary capacity of emotional contagion to help synchronize our emotions and express our wants and needs. They give an example of a newborn baby crying to be fed because it's the only way the baby knows how to get food from its mother. The baby is, in effect, using emotional contagion to communicate with its mother. It is evolutionary, pre-linguistic, and instinctual. The power of emotional contagion is that strong. Without it, human beings might not exist, as many babies may not survive. The mother-child bond is one of the strongest bonds humans have. Love does not have to be spoken, it is felt through contagion. It seeps through borders between people, finding its own way, especially through sound and touch. When a baby is born, the power of emotional contagion comes forth naturally and almost immediately. It is contagious. We can feel it and sense it. The first communication comes from the helpless baby's cries, the only way the baby can reach out. The baby's very first cries may be its way of drawing breath, but the first instinctual communication conveys emotion. The only way the communication of love occurs is through this contagion, this evolutionary force that enables communication where words are not yet possible. A cry itself is noticeable because of the sound, but it is the emotion that is contagious. The desperation, the neediness, the urgency, and the helplessness that are conveyed in the crying. When the mother hears the baby's cry, she feels the natural maternal instinct to hold her baby. The cry speaks to the mother. The baby cries to be fed. Its voice conveys need combined with emotion. It comes through nature, and when the force comes from nature, you know it's a very powerful force. There is no doubt that emotional contagion is the greatest emotional process that humans can experience, with love being communicated through its power. This is the positive part of emotional contagion. If there were no emotional contagion, then love would not move between people. Emotional contagion gives love its magic. The role of emotion in life is, although one of the most powerful forces, is often minimized. We don't often identify its importance. Sometimes emotion automatically leads us to do the things that they say we should do without thinking, just like that. Strong emotion simply moves us to cry, to run, to protest, to fight, to jump, to shout, to sing. It is such great power. It is the most powerful, invisible, intangible force that emanates from a human being, and it's contagious and infectious. Okay, so that's about a page of an introduction to the power of emotional contagion. And
Thanks, Bruce.
yeah.
That's good.
Oh, you're back, Tina. Everything okay?
Yes. Tina's back. Okay, I'm gonna leave.
Oh, now Glenda went away.
Oh dear.
No,
Okay.
I went away because I chose to go away. I passed it back to you guys.
Okay. So I had to look after something real quick. So sorry about that.
That's okay.
But I can show the slides. I just need to know when to advance them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did a reading instead, but we would just finish the first slide, and then I would just tell you. Well, I read them, and then at the end of it, I would you'd know to move to the next one. But how do I do that? Is that kind of like
Well, I would need to advance them for you.
right?
So, which means I need to know where when you're
Okay.
ready to move on to the next one.
Okay, I'll just say next slide then.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
fine.
often what happens, you just have a hand signal or something like that, or next or something like that. That's a quick way. Or as you said, just to say it. But Tina, your screen's not shared again now. So are you going to share it again, or?
Well, I'm going to have to.
We don't have to do it because we've accomplished what we wanted to today. I think the next thing is to just maybe do the Q&A. Because because he's done a reading, the PowerPoint is there. We'll have more time on your actual session because today's just a practice session for 15 minutes. We're not doing the whole thing.
No.
So basically, Isabel had a question. So Tina, is it all right if I post Isabel's
Absolutely.
question?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Here. Oop. There we go.
Yeah, good question. Yeah. The next slide was on the COVID. So, but we live in an emotional time, especially through the COVID pandemic, and people's emotions are at the surface. And as a result, we get people who are very emotional about things. And then you get the results, which are, conspiracy theories, distrust, suspicion, and all these issues. And now we in Ottawa here today are worried about the truckers coming into town. And so, it's a very emotional time. And when the emotions are there, then people can have a short trigger and can get more emotional more easily. So emotions flare up, and then you have people who are divisive, and so it becomes stronger and stronger. So yeah, Isabel said I was going to answer the question in my presentation, but yeah, I'm not sure if I said something or if that was coming up in one of the slides.
I think she saw your slide that you hadn't actually talked about yet.
Oh,
So
right.
she realized that she had a thought of a question and that the answer was going to be there if you carried on your PowerPoint.
Okay.
But since Tina we sort of stopped the PowerPoint, I said, well, we'll just go ahead and ask the question. So
Well, it's interesting because, certainly the pandemic brought up a lot of emotion and still is, and we're all worried. And for 2 years now, it's continual, and people are having lack of patience and having difficulty handling the emotion. But it's interesting because when I was going to write the book, it was before the pandemic started. And there was already enough emotion out there in public, in life and politics. So especially in the country below us. And so that spurred me on. And then I've realized it was also in Britain and other countries. So, and certainly it's in Canada too. We have a lot of emotion, a lot of issues. And so I write about them. And so we read about the racism and the indigenous problem. And yeah, it's just a little sideline. I was in Victoria this past summer, and we went for a walk with the group, and we walked right by the steps of the Victoria, the BC legislature, and not one person in our group stopped and looked at all the hundreds of shoes there on the steps except me. And it's just so powerful to see them. And this has been an emotional year for Canada and for the world. And with all the different things that have happened, I think because of the pandemic, the emotions were at the surface and they were ready to spill over in a sense, because regularly we have emotional experiences in the country, but when they're closer to the surface, they spill over, as opposed to being handled and experienced within smaller groups. And so anyway, hopefully the pandemic will be over in the next few weeks. I predict it'll be over before the end of the year. But I'm not going to put that in the book.
Okay. Thank you for answering that question. And I think my net is slow right now.
I'm not sure if Tina was freezing there. Tina, are you frozen? You might have to refresh your screen.
She says her internet's slow.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
There, she's back. Yeah. So you might have to refresh. Oh, it's really slow. Yeah. So bye, Joanne. Joanne has left us now. But anyway, we're ready to start wrapping up. I think I'm going to just step back again for a minute, and Tina can get the feedback from Isabel.
Okay.
It seemed good to me. There weren't any issues that needed to be changed.
Great.
Yeah, I like your background, actually. I like the background with the books, and yeah, looks nice.
Yeah, I've got a better background for myself, but I'm not sure how to put it on right now. So when we do the actual one, I'll get my director of operations to help me with that because she's better than I am.
Okay. Okay, so I need to sign off. I have to, if we go offline, I can tell you what I'm dealing with, but
Okay. Yeah. Anybody, any
live.
of the authors that are still here, Rick, and I know Grace, I think Grace possibly may still be there, though her mic is off. But we can all, when I end the broadcast very shortly, we'll still be in the green room for anyone who wants to continue talking, and anyone who wants to leave
So
will be fine.
don't quit the studio just yet. Yeah.
No, just let me, you can finish off, and whenever you're ready, you can do your closing comments. I'm going to take Isabel off the screen.
I'm just wondering one thing.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to close off YouTube right now.
Okay.
Okay, so hold on.
Yeah, and Bruce has a question.
So thank you very much for attending. Okay.
Oh. Yeah, Bruce has a question.
So do I just read through the words on the slides and read through the lines I've got there and then move on to the other one? Or do I stop and explain some of the things as I'm reading it, or go on tangents? How is it best to handle that? I've got 8 slides and there's approximately 7 to 8 lines per slide.
Yeah, it's very word dense. And so I think if people are kind of reading the slide, and then you don't have to read it word by word, line by line. You can also just talk about it.
Oh, right.
Like people have the lines there, like they can read them, but they can also be listening to you talking about it. And so I think it'll come across better instead of you reading.
Yeah.
More ad lib. Yeah. Like when you were answering the question, like you did a great job. In fact, I put it in the chat. You did a great job of answering that question.
Okay, good.
And I think that's more effective than reading line by line to a viewer.
Okay.
Because you need to be more spontaneous, I think, with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the material is excellent. And you're a good speaker without needing to read word by word, line by line.
Yeah.
The other
what you want to say.
Of it is, the other side of it is that when you're reading word for word, your face is down, so people aren't actually engaging with you. So we want you to be kind of looking at the cam as much as possible. So if you can kind of have point form for yourself about each slide, maybe three short points or sentences about each slide, they can view the screen with all the detail, but they don't have to have you read it to them.
Excellent.
Okay, Glenda, I need to go.
Okay, so we're going to end the broadcast now. I'm going to take Tina off of the stream here, and I will just finish off the there we go. And so thanks very much, Bruce, and everybody for attending. And now we're just going to sign off. And so I'll be sharing links through the Crossfield Publishing YouTube for each of the authors so that we can be promoting individually the authors through their social media. And there'll be more coming individually to the authors with their private links. Okay, so thanks very much. And I'm going to just remove us from the screen, and I'm going to end the broadcast very shortly.